Hey guys, with more and more 2.6 tires being available in the market these days, here's a quick check of the 2.6 Maxxis REKON 29er. Pretty standard for Maxxis. The details of the tire are provided on this label. First of all, this is made in Taiwan, just like all their other tires. These key features, cornering and rolling efficiency, this is relative to the class of tires, so I assume this is going to be relative to the cross-country tires that they have. This is designed for an aggressive cross-country trails. It does have the wide trail or WT casing optimized for wider rims. You see the 30 to 35 millimeter specified here. This particular one uses the triple compound Tyre. It is the tubeless ready variant, and it provides 120 TPI casing, which makes the casing a bit more flexible for better rolling resistance. The three icons here are the same ones to be found on the sidewall of the tire, and you see them here: triple compound Tyre, EXO protection, that is the sidewall protection, and tubeless ready. Also on the sidewall here you can see that the maximum pressure is 40 psi, and yes, it is a Maxxis REKON. I'm going to use the REKON with this Ikon 2.35 in the back. This is a triple compound tire as well. Max speed, which is better rolling resistance. By the way, REKON doesn't exist in max speed. It's either Max Tyre or dual. The weight of the tire is 799 grams. It is 780 on the spec sheet. On the label I just removed a few pieces of information here I don't remember reading before. Tire mounting should be performed entirely by hand. I don't know why. Inflation should be performed with the use of a hand pump only. I was curious to see what this scan for mounting instructions was. Unfortunately, when you scan that QR code, I got this, so I guess I'm gonna just install it the good old way. Looking at the thread pattern, this is quite substantial. Pretty tall knobs overall. You can see the center knobs being nicely ramped up just for better rolling resistance. These tinier intermediate knobs are very similar to the ones on the Ikon, and the cornering knobs quite tall, and they have that L shape found on the DHR2 or DHF. The REKON is considered a more aggressive icon, but if you look at the thread pattern, you can see that they're quite different as opposed to something like Ardent versus Ardent Race. The cornering knobs are way more aggressive on the REKON, and they are shaped differently. Also, the center knobs here, even though they're ramped up on both, you can see the pattern is different. This looks very similar to something like a DHR2 that gives you all those nice surfaces here for good braking performance. One last thing, the tubeless ready version of their tires provides this very smooth and rubbery tire bead, and that is in contrast with something like this, which is not tubeless ready, and you can see the texture here on the tire bead, and yes, this is not as smooth. In my experience, both variants work very well tubeless, so if you want to save the few extra grams, you can go for the non-tubeless ready version, no problem. I will be installing these tires on a set of Stance Arch MK3 rims with an internal dimension or ID of 26 millimeters, and also the height of 16 millimeters as you see it here. All I needed was a bit of soapy water here on the tire bead, and I could install it by hand. This is a directional thread pattern, so make sure you keep an eye on this arrow on the non-drive sidewall of the tire. Maxxis recommends leaving the tire at the maximum PSI overnight, and that's exactly what I did. Now I have it inflated to 25 PSIs. Let's take some measurements. Rim height is 16 millimeters, and tire height to this tallest knob is almost 76 millimeters. Tire casing comes up to 61.5 millimeters or 2.42 inches. Measuring the very edge of the side knobs, I come up to almost 2.5 inches or 63.5 millimeters. Height of the center knobs is 3.1 millimeters. Height of the side knobs is 5.2 millimeters, so about 2 millimeter taller cornering knobs versus the center rolling knobs. The tire has a pretty round profile, very similar to the Ikon. Also similar to the Ikon, The casing is almost the same width with the thread, and that is on a 26 millimeter ID rims. I can only imagine how this casing would be even more exposed if you install the tire on 30 or 35 millimeter rims like Maxxis recommends. On the downside, the narrower rim profile might not provide as good of a support when you're pushing these tires hard. Clearance is not too bad on this non-boosted bike, and the tire looks pretty beefy, pretty nice. Exactly what I was looking for as a pair for the Ikon. Clearance in the rear will be tighter, but remember I had 2.8 tires on this bike, so I should be good. And that's pretty much all I have, guys. What kind of tires are you looking forward to try this season? If you have any questions for me, let me know in the section below. Don't forget to like the video, keep an eye on my channel. If you want to look at pricing, look at the links in the description. And until next time, looking forward to riding this on the trails, guys. Cheers.